Starting an art journal. Well, I've actually tried making an art journal before. It was about 2 years ago, right at the very start of my art journey. And I failed after about 3 pages maybe. Mostly because I had no idea what to do with it. It wasn't a sketchbook. It wasn't a diary. I just didn't understand what it was supposed to be. I mean, I was told that an art journal can be whatever you want it to be. That's fine, but if you don't know what it's supposed to be, how can you make a start? You know, my sketchbook is for ideas. And if I wanted to keep a diary, I think I'd just keep a diary. So I didn't really understand what an art journal was about and what to put in it. So according to ChatGPT, an art journal is a personal creative book where the focus is on process and exploration, not on making a finished, perfect artwork. Which, okay, sounds fine, but it sounds exactly like a sketchbook to me. My sketchbooks are for process. My sketchbooks are for exploration. My sketchbooks are for developing ideas. So I've been contemplating this whole art journal thing for several months. I came to the realisation that it's not about finished pieces, and it's not really about improving your art, and it's not really about exploring ideas or processes. I realised for me, an art journal is about having somewhere else to slow down. My sketchbook asks for full pages, it asks for a final outcome, it asks for exploring ideas, it asks for improvement. It says this one should be better than the last page. And sometimes picking up my sketchbook feels not hard work, but I have so many ideas that are flowing through my head that they are about developing finished pieces and playing around with those thoughts that are in my head, and I felt like I needed just a little space that was a little bit quieter. Now, when I first tried an art journal, I didn't have much art experience. I've now got a couple of years under my belt, and back then I didn't really understand balance or form or patterns or composition. My pages came from experimentation and trying different ideas. So now I kind of wanted a little space, just a little space where I wasn't having to process all my ideas and thoughts and just needed to settle them just that little bit more. The neurographic art is wonderful for calming your mind. The zentangle, the quiet repetition of that is just amazing. But I needed just that little other safe space. So I picked up a very, very small book to use as an art journal. So this one I picked up in Hobbycraft. It's not my usual A4 size, it's just a little A5 exercise book. It's by West Design and it's 140 GSM. Now I have used one of these sketchbooks before for just pencil drawing and it's been perfectly fine. And so I chose this because it's only 40 pages, which doesn't seem too intimidating. It wasn't terribly expensive, it only cost £2.30. But this felt manageable, but not a huge commitment. But it's something that I can pick up at the end of the day and just do a little something in. So there's something quite comforting about the scale of this sketchbook. And if you're thinking about starting an art journal yourself, you genuinely don't need anything special. I'll probably put a cover or something on this at some point, but a cheap little sketchbook like this is more than enough. So I had this sketchbook, and because I knew that I wanted to draw over both pages without having any bleed through or warping, what I decided to do was to glue an extra page, like an overlay page, onto all of the left hand pages. That also meant I could use the cover as my first page. So on the cover page I just stuck in some watercolour paper because I had an offcut sitting on my desk. And then on the next few pages I stuck down some old watercolour backgrounds and some watercolour pencil backgrounds that I'd created previously, And these were just sitting around on my desk doing absolutely nothing, and this felt like the perfect place to put them. So the aim for this journal is it's mostly going to be neurographic and zentangle-inspired. I really enjoy drawing just random patterns, but I also use my sketchbook for developing ideas for larger pieces, and I'm always thinking about composition and colour and outcomes, and I really want this just to be a place to play, something that I can reach for when I just need to decompress. And once you know a few patterns, you don't have to overthink it. You just draw a line, a curve, a petal, and you respond to the space in front of you. It's rhythmic, it's repetitive, and it's quietly absorbing actually. So I've got a little bit of comfort knowing that I don't have to invent something new, and that I can return to the same patterns page after page if I choose to. Because it's going to be less about what's on the page and more about how I feel whilst I'm making it. Okay, you have to think a little bit about what you're doing, but it's definitely not rocket science. So I started this first page by just drawing a few flowing lines across the pages with my French curves. So there was a little bit of thought about where I placed them, just a touch of symmetry, but not overdoing it. And then I added some oval sections using my stencil. These are where I'm going to place some words. I don't know what words yet, but I kind of decided I wanted to put some words in because I want them to be my focus whilst I'm drawing the page, like that one thing that you meditate on a little bit whilst you're drawing. That's where the art therapy side kicks in. So I was adding neurographic lines, I was adding some swirls, some interweaving lines, some straight lines, some petals, some triangles, whatever felt right. I kept smudging my gel pen, but you know what? This journal is not about perfection, it's just about being. For the words on my first spread, I put ready, because this page was really about preparing myself for this art journaling journey. And once I was happy with all the line work, I just added some colour. I just chose a range of blues because I thought they'd be quite calming to work with. And it just felt like the right colour to start my little art journal. And that's it. One simple page of patterns and a few hours of peace and calm. So I'm not going to record every single page of this art journal. This is going to be my little book that I reach for every now and again, the kind of little no pressure book beside my bed that I can pick up when I choose. I have started the next couple of pages. I am working on them. It's all about the process. Trust the process. Some days I've drawn one line, some days I've coloured in one petal, and some days I haven't opened it at all. That is perfectly fine, because with this there's no catching up, there's no falling behind, there's no expectation to finish it. I might not even finish these 2 pages over the next month, but it's there when I want it, and that's the idea behind this journal. My sketchbooks still have their sole purpose for developing ideas, testing colours, building compositions, but this little journal is just one for being. For those evenings where it's too late to get the paints out, for those moments when I just don't want to start something big, when I need some time off the screen. It's a very small space. It doesn't matter if the pen smudges or the colours bleed, because this art journal, the point is not the page, the point is the pause. So I will share my progress in my art journal on my monthly arty updates. So if you'd like to see how this quietly grows, you're very welcome to subscribe. I post those on the first Friday of each month. And if you do decide to start your own art journal, remember, you don't have to go grand with it. You can let it be small, you can let it be imperfect, and you can let it be yours. Do like this video if you've made it this far. Your support genuinely means an awful lot to me, and I hope to catch up with you again soon.